Yes? No? Okay.
No.
All right, so we wrote this in a collaboration with a lot of people who knew Sean, who grew up with Sean, and I think a lot of you will agree. As we reflect on Sean's life today, we can either be happy or we can be sad. I, for one, know that Sean would want each and every one of us to remember the only thing in him that was good. And I ask that you do that. Just remember the good. To remember the man that he had finally become, a man who had worked so hard to find happiness. In my heart, I know that Sean would want us all to look back and laugh at all the crazy stuff that he and his so-called boys had done, especially as kids. One of my favorite quotes is, "We accept the love we think we deserve." Think about what this says. It not only explains Sean's life, think about it, please. It explains each and every one of us, our lives. Not to be judged, but to be allowed to love ourselves. Our friend Sean walked a long, hard path until he did find God. And it also led him to finally find himself. If you knew Sean, you knew that. You knew that well. It took Sean many years of ups and downs, but he not only gained God's love, he learned to love himself in this process. And in doing so, Sean grew into a man that we had all prayed that one day we would see. Our Sean, he was finally happy. He was, Lisa.
Yes.
He was. We accept the love that we think that we each deserve. Think about it. That's just what Sean did. Sean had finally reached a point where he knew he deserved happiness, both in life and in love, just as much as anyone else does. That's all that we ask for ourselves. He had walked his path of darkness for a very long time, finally reached the light that he had so longed for. Let us not judge, please. Let's think about this. Sean had finally reached a point where he knew that he had deserved happiness, both in his life and in love, just as much as anyone else. Over the years, Sean talked about many things. And I'm writing this for a couple of my family members and my friends as a collaboration, so I need you please to really think about this, okay? Often, I would go visit him and we would laugh and reminisce. We would go out, we would have lunch, then walk quietly together near the water. I knew his wishes and his dreams and the love he had so longed for. I also knew his dark thoughts and all those others that haunted him. His family issues and the family members he so adored often weighed heavily on him. We know this. I also knew that besides his hometown, the place that he so very much loved was indeed Ocala. He placed a lot where his dreams lie. It was a place that he had one day wished that he would return, and he did. He often spoke of maybe someday having someone special to love. His need to be near the water and his interest in horses and the family was a dream held tight in his heart. It was a very, very beautiful dream that he might one day have of his own. Sean was full of stories. He had memories of past childhood friends and the good and the bad times that they had grown up. We laughed a lot over silly stuff, also cried over scars yet healed. I visited him in places most people would not. I talked to him when he no longer felt he had friends. It was at those dark times my children and I had welcomed him into our home. I wanted him to have a safe place where he could feel loved, not ashamed. And times for him were difficult, which was something he hadn't had in many, many years. Our boy Smitty, he was an overcomer. Those of you who know what overcomer is. He was always fighting his demons to prevail. He knew what he wanted in life, and no matter how long it took, he was going to achieve it. This determination inside of him is what brought him close to God. He learned to love himself. He worked hard to get out on his own and move back to Ocala. He did this, just so you know, he did this. With every push towards God, he was definitely rewarded. Sean's greatest reward was that he had found the love of his life in Lisa, his very own angel. He moved back to Ocala. He had made many friends and was around horses. Again, he loved horses as well. He had finally found his own pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, something that we all wish that we could one day find ourselves. Sean was truly happy and finally where he had always wanted to be in life. Although we lost a friend way too young, and we did. I, for one, am happy that he had finally fulfilled his golden dream. Sean and Lisa, we have had a short time together. But by God, they had a love that was bigger than anyone could ever measure. They were very much in love. We laughed a lot. I can only thank God that he blessed two beautiful people and gave them both such a gift that most people will never in their lifetime find. And I hope you're listening. You don't find that often. They shared laughter, they made memories, and they loved each other. Their memorable times together will never be forgotten. Ask Lisa about the many times Sean would say, "Today is my birthday." And the outcome of those silly, happy, fulfilled moments. I'm not going to get into the hat pictures, Lisa. If it was watching the sunrise during the early hours in the morning or the sunset in the most beautiful of nights, it was their time together. They cooked, ate, laughed, and did things that you would expect your kids to do. They didn't care what others thought. Why? Because they were not only enjoying their time together, they were in love. Both living life. It was so meant to be. I will miss you, Sean. You're my friend. I will always be grateful for the time that we had growing up, the memories we made. I will keep talking to you, and there is no doubt we will see each other again one day. Until then, Bubba, grab a Bucci, pull up a chair. Kong family in heaven, as we all say, love you always. I know that Sean loved to reminisce and laugh over the old days. If anybody here knew Sean, who knew he was a talker, raise your hand if you did. Hallelujah. I ask that you share in your stories. Come on, people, share. Share in those stories, those many times that you laughed with him. Say goodbye to a friend in a way that he would love most. And if we listen close enough, God knows we might even hear him laugh with us.
Amen.
I understand that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
I love you, Lisa.